Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about the new WNBA schedule that just came out the other day. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so at the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video and make Rob happy.
Mm-hmm.
So the schedule came out, but before I get to that, they also announced some other dates. January 21st, free agent registration begins. February 1st, free agents can sign with contracts. So that means we won't know really the roster of the Indiana Fever until at least February 1st. And April 14th is a draft, and May 16th is opening day. Caitlin Clark plays on May 17th, which is the second day, which is a Saturday at 1 o'clock against, not surprisingly, Chicago Sky and Angel Reese. So that's what they did. So, Rob, as we know, there's 44 games this year instead of 40, and there's 13 teams instead of 12. There's 6 in the Eastern Conference and 7 in the Western Conference. So that what they did is they set it up so that they played 4 teams at least 4 teams against everyone in your conference, and either 3 or 4 against the ones in the other conference. And then in this particular circumstance, Fever and Chicago play 5 times.
Right.
As far as I don't know if any other 2 teams play 5 times. I know that's the only team that Chicago and the Fever play 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So they play the other teams in their conference. They play 4 times. That's Washington and Connecticut and New York and Atlanta. And then they also play 4 times against Dallas, which is not surprising because that is probably going to be Paige Beckers. And here's the only problem I have with the schedule is they're 4 times against LA, which is not really an interesting matchup for the Indiana Fever, and only 3 times against Las Vegas. And the reason I say that is because I think the MVP award next year was most likely, it could be other people, Nafisa Kyle or whatever, but most likely it's going to come down to Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson next year. So I think they should take advantage of that and have Las Vegas and the Fever play 4 times as opposed to LA. They're both Western Conference teams, so you can just switch which team you play 4 on because you got to play at least 3. And I would do that. That's one major mistake, I think, because anytime they have a matchup like that, Rob, it goes into the MVP talk and it gets more publicity.
Yeah, so I mean, to play the Sparks 4 times, even though they have Cameron Brink back, from her injury, I still think television-wise would be better, like you said, Mark, to play the Aces 4 times because it's great for television watching, and also, like you said, if there's an MVP balloting, it'd be nice. They'll use that head-to-head. Even though they play different positions, they'll use a head-to-head A'ja Wilson against Clark. So
right, because when those 2 games were coming on at the end of the year, Caitlin Clark was building momentum. There was MVP talk for her, and she was going to have to win both those games and play great to have any chance of the MVP vote. Probably she wasn't going to win it anyways, but that drew a lot of interest to those games to people, and I think it's the same thing's going to happen next year. And so I think they made a mistake having LA as one of the Western Conference teams instead of Vegas to be.
Well, they did that last year, Mark. Unfortunately, they made a mistake when they wanted to have it that way, but they put her out there 7 games on the road, and when beginning of the year, is tired as a rookie.
Right. Well, okay, we'll talk about that right now. That's in my notes. So last year, as everyone knows, they had the toughest schedule in sports history. They had 11 games in 20 days, and they played a lot of the best teams, and they played more away games than home games. And this year they start out with 11 games in 20 days, and they have a lot of home games. They have more home games in the first half of the season than the second half of the season. So they gave them a much better schedule. They have 2 back-to-backs, and none of them are going to take place where they play on a Saturday or Sunday. So whenever they're highlighted on a Saturday or Sunday game, which is going to get more views, they're all going to have a rest on that. So their back-to-backs were like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, Friday. So there was no back-to-backs Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. They had 2. I don't know why they needed 2, and they got a month more with the schedule this year, but they had 2 back-to-backs. I don't even know if all the teams have back-to-backs. I'm looking at the schedule, and then I say 44 games, and it's kind of hard to predict, Rob, how many wins I think they're going to get because we don't know who's going to be on their team. But I think last year they should have won 25 or 26 games easily with a different coach. And they're playing 4 more games this year. So I think a realistic goal is at least 30 games. Just not even knowing their roster. But we'll
See,
see what
Mark, with
happens.
these back-to-backs, you think they're going to sit Caitlin Clark out of the game like the NBA does with LeBron and these other players? Can you
Unless
imagine,
she's injured, no, Rob.
Mark, can you imagine that? Caitlin Clark plays that one game and then she goes to another place and she doesn't show up. They're not going to play her. Oh my gosh, it would go crazy.
No. But there's a lot of publicity already for the Chicago Sky games. In fact, the cheapest ticket is $255 and a premium ticket is $2,550. And these tickets are more expensive than all but one of the WNBA season openers. So that's a fun fact. And there's also the Seattle. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
So what about the New York Liberty, Rock? Didn't you say that the New York Liberty also was a high prices too?
Yeah, they're higher priced too, but the Chicago Sky were the most expensive. All the prices are up from last year, Rob.
Okay.
At least Indiana Fever games. I don't know about all the other teams, but all the prices are up for Indiana Fever.
I don't think the Mystics are going to be over $100 there, Mark.
I don't know. So Seattle Storm on X put out a very clever thing where they advertised the home games, or I think all the games against Indiana Fever, and they put "You Should Be Dancing," and they put Saturday Night Fever as an Indiana Fever, and there's a picture of Caitlin Clark underneath the big silver ball, and so I thought that was interesting.
Wow,
good promotion by them.
Wait a minute, wait. The Seattle Storm promotes Caitlin Clark, but the WNBA can't even.
Right, that's why I thought it was interesting.
So crazy.
Right.
Another team, not even the Fever yet. It's the Seattle team that's promoting her.
Right. I don't know what to say. So last year, as we talked about, the schedule was bad, and I'm still wondering, was it a conspiracy about Caitlin Clark? I know they wanted to promote her, but were they trying to keep her down too? I'm always going to wonder about that by giving her such a hard schedule in the beginning, because they knew that the Indiana Fever had like a 44% chance of getting whoever came out first, and they almost knew for sure Caitlin Clark was going to come out. So they knew there was close to a 50% chance that Indiana Fever was going to have that schedule with Caitlin Clark on the team. So I always wonder about that. Anyways,
well, let me put it this way: even if Caitlin Clark didn't go to the Fever, she's gonna whatever team she would have been on, Los Angeles, whatever, Dallas, she would have made that team better, and her skills wouldn't have changed no matter what team she went to. She still would have been the player she is now. So. Well, how could it just like say, depending on what team that she went to, that we're not going to really promote her or give her any of her props, whatever. We didn't see this coming, type thing. Didn't matter.
They saw it coming. That's why they made that schedule. So, anyways, in relation to that, I wondered, okay, well, what are they going to do about Paige Beckers? Because she's a big time rookie coming in, And so I looked at the Dallas schedule. And it's interesting that they do play some good teams at first. Like they play against good defensive teams, Connecticut twice in their first 3 games. But they don't play against the Fever until 17 games into their schedule. And they don't play against New York until 27 games into their schedule.
Wow.
It's almost like they're giving a chance for Paige to get used to the WNBA before they play against Caitlin Clark, the big matchup, or before they play against the best team in the league. Before she plays against the best team in the league. It's almost like they did it on purpose, but I don't know if they're just trying
to. Very interesting.
Yeah, I figured that out. So, but she does play against some of the best defenders. She plays against Dejanay Carrington in her 5th game, and the other woman, Natasha Cloud, she was also on the all-defensive team. There's only 2 guards on the all-defensive team. She plays against her in the 10th game. But they do go against Connecticut, like I said, in games 1 and 3 with Kayla McBride's a good defender. So, anyways,
and Mark will the other teams pick her up full court and
that's just my next topic. I'm dying to see, and that's not related to the schedule, but I'm dying to see how they cover Paige Beckers, because she's a good scorer and a good passer. She's not a great scorer, but she's efficient scorer. She has good shooting percent. She doesn't shoot a lot. And she's also very efficient passer, although she doesn't have a ton of assists. Like, for instance, right now she's averaging 4.6 assists. and only 1.3 turnovers. She's very safe with the passing. That's a good ratio of 3.5. Like twice what Caitlin Clark had in college. But maybe she's too conservative in passing, and she could get more assists. So we'll see what happens, Rob. But they're going to have to, she's still a threat on both of those. So why aren't they going to triple team her?
Pick her up full court, knock her to the ground, hack her, get her physical with her.
We'll see. Well, it'll be interesting to see if she's flashier than she was with Connecticut. Because in high school, if you watch the highlights, I never saw her play live in high school. She was kind of flashy with the passes and stuff like that. So we'll see if that comes back now that she's away from Gino.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen this year, but I think it's going to happen next year a little bit. She'll probably enjoy the freedom. Really? So anyways, I was curious to see how the schedule was with her. And of course, she doesn't have to play 11 games in 20 days like Caitlin Clark did, but they also don't lose a month to the Olympics, so it's spread out more, to be fair to the.
And they have charter flights, Mark.
Because of Angel Reese?
Yes, of course. No, it's Clark.
Angel Wilson.
Angel Reese, Mark. It's Clark, Angel Reese.
I thought it was just Angel Wilson, Brianna Stewart, because they were negotiating for that for 27 years. It's just a coincidence that they got it the year Caitlin Clark came in.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So, anyways, that's the schedule. And anything else you want to say about the schedule, Rob?
No, that's pretty. I mean, we're doing a countdown to see what's December. What we got 5 months now.
Yeah, the problem is it's 5 months away.
It's 5 months away, Mark.
I'm kind of psyched about the new team. Not going to be a new team, but the new coach. And they're going to have a little bit of a new team because I know some of the players are going to change. And the new schedule. And I'm excited about the fact that it's going to be fair to the Indiana Fever this year too. So they won't get off to such a poor start. In fact, if you look at the schedule, they got more home games than away games, and they don't play a lot of tough teams in the beginning. I think they're going to get off to a very good start. I think they have a little bit of advantage.
What do you think the percentage of most of their games are going to be televised?
100 or really close to 100? Because it was supposedly they had like 1 or 2 years ago. I got 2 different figures depending on what you believe. And the year Caitlin Clark came in, they got 36 is what they announced in the beginning of the year. But then some were added onto the schedule. I think it ended up being like 38 or 39 out of the 40 were televised. So maybe all 40. So I have a feeling it's going to be all 44 one way or another because everybody's going to be clamoring for them, and they'll probably bid for the rights to the games that aren't covered already. They're going to put them on the networks on like Saturdays and Sundays and stuff like that. And then the rest of the games, they're all going to bid for like the weekday games. I think they're all 44 of them are going to be covered, Rob. She's just too popular.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I don't see any reason why all 44 won't be.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, so make it easier to go live for those games. So join us live for those 44 games.
Not yet, Mark. It's only December. We haven't got the Christmas stuff.
I'm missing Caitlin Clark. I'm going to have to go watch some games when she played in college.
Yeah, get your fix. Gotta get your fix.
Get that fix. And right now, I got my fix watching the NFL. So who knows? So, anyways, I got to watch a lot.
Thursday, you got your Thursday game coming up.
Thursday game, Packers at Detroit. They beat them in Detroit last year. It was on Thanksgiving Day. So it's a week later this year. All right, go Pack, go. Anyways, hey, if you like this video, hit the like button and share it if you could. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make Rob happy. We're going for 10,000 subscribers. First, we have to get to 6,000, of course. We're almost at 5,500. And help us out there. And if you do, hit the notification bell so you get notified of our next videos. And join us for our live show. That's every Monday, 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays. And you can call in for that show, so it's pretty cool. And also, if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.